saying? Famous Mellow Ho. It's good with y'all boys. Beautiful Friday, you know what I'm saying? Free a day and shit. You know what I'm saying? Pisces and shit. And Venus, so shit was like, you know what I'm saying? Basically just expansive when it comes to like dreams and shit with our relationships and our relatability energy with our gift and talent and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? And enjoying that good, feel good, you know what I'm saying? Get together on a Friday energy and shit. It's Friday. You feel me? Stupid as nah. For real though, but yo, so what, you know what I'm saying, we basically just reacting and responding to and shit, and creating emotional connection with the metaphysical travel of us expanding on our wisdom, knowledge, and experiences and shit like that when it comes to how we expressing our character, basically with our you know what I'm saying, childlike creativity, entertainment, or self-expressionatory type aspect of what we personally are interested in. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, we basically is metaphysically expanding on how we are reacting, responding to that and shit like that, and gaining wisdom, knowledge, and experience with that and shit like that nature. So when it comes to the actions and shit, that's what Aries is, what we taking power of influence in. You know, that was, you know what I'm saying, I say that first house, Aries aspect of fifth house Leo, you expressing yourself from your inner spark of imagination and creativity of what you birthed into existence, as far as what you initiate and create for as far as your vision and shit like that of that nature. So what you can metaphysically travel from Sagittarius, and what you created emotional reaction or response to basically led you to, you know what I'm saying, take actions dealing with how you personally interested in your own character and expression of how you express yourself, you know what I'm saying, childlike self and shit like that in that nature. So, and that's pretty much like, you know what I'm saying, what you would call like, you know what I'm saying, expression of character. So, and you know what I'm saying, metaphysical travel of that would be what we getting the transit from right now. You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, pretty much that's, you know what I'm saying, what we sun and moon reacting, responding to, and taking actions, and you know what I'm saying, having different viewpoints, dealing with our personal interests, how we expand on our childlike ability to be able to express our inner spark of creativity or imagination that we had birthed into existence, or may take power of influence over in creating that thing, and those things of that nature. So basically what we looking to have power of influence over is gonna be dealing with, you know what I'm saying, the sun, Mercury, taking actions, having different viewpoints, creating emotional connection, creating a thinking and communication, and you know what I'm saying, creating a not a reaction, but you know what I'm saying, a more like an action of pre-action of thinking, communicating, and basically thinking, communicating, taking actions on what you thinking, communicating about, having different viewpoints that you thinking about and shit of that nature, expanding on dreams, faith, belief, delusion, imagination, creativity, and things to deal with how you have, you know what I'm saying, healed from that past personal interest of those things of that nature. So when it's dealing with how you think and communicate with your own personal point of power of influence in your actions and viewpoints when it comes to your personal interests and shit, things of that nature. So pretty much, expanding on dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusion as well, creating more, initiating, creating more interest, personal interest when it comes to that. And yeah, like I said, healing from that space of you having to intermingle and actually take responsibility for all these things that you would so-called be influencing or be influenced by as well, I guess you would say. So pretty much, yeah, power of influence to in that aspect in itself is what we generally all going to be personally, you know what I'm saying, dreams, faith, belief, imagination, dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, your spirit's ability to, you know what I'm saying, create that and shit like that, taking healing and from the mistakes of whatever, you know what I'm saying, may be caused by what you initiated and had to take responsibility over and shit like that, dealing with that realm and shit of that nature, with Chiron, you know what I'm saying, and with personal interests, dealing with in general, just whatever, you know what I'm saying, you have to get over those blockages and able to be able, and you know what I'm saying, expand those dreams, faith, belief, imagination, illusions. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, you having to think, communicate, and reanalyze, you know what I'm saying, since we just coming out that, you know what I'm saying, Pisces and shit, retrograde from Mercury and shit, and where, you know what I'm saying, actually go forward with what you're thinking, communicating with, and personally, you see what I'm saying, not just how you do what you influencing, communicating, and thinking about, but how you see what I'm saying, directly are taking action and influencing that, taking responsibility for that is what you supposed to be thinking, communicating on, and taking actions, having different viewpoints about with that, you see what I'm saying, personal interests that you are expanding on, basically. So power of influence from there would pretty much be, would say, Pisces, Saturn, North Node, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, Pisces, Saturn, North Node, Venus still being there. We just, you know what I'm saying, having the power of influence to create and be moldable, well, you know what I'm saying, be moldable and adaptable to ourselves, well, as others. Dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusions, things of that nature, dealing with how we, you know what I'm saying, is creating more of that, building onto that, adding on the reality, harsh reality of maybe how we have to build onto that, you know what I'm saying, building onto, and then, you know, that love, faith, belief, appreciation, you know what I'm saying, that we have to show for others, you know what I'm saying, value and appreciation that we have faith and belief in, that we can, you know, be able to have that relatability energy between our gifts, talents, and values between each other and shit like that. So pretty much would be, yeah, the power of influence for what we're going through right now, and in our influencing vibrational transformation gonna look like Aries and Taurus. Still we going through that, you know what I'm saying. Aries got back into Mercury, so it's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the us having to transform spiritually from how we think and communicating about our personal interests and things of that nature, healing from that growth aspect of us having to not fix the mistakes, but basically go forward with them bitches, and just, you know what I'm saying, create healthy birthing systems out of that, you know what I'm saying, birthing healthy mechanism systems out of that personal interest that we are, you know what I'm saying, that we are evolving and shit, innovating, creating into our second house spiritually, from what we evolved from that 12th house Aries to second house, 12th house Aries to, from Taurus to second house Taurus from Aries. It's gonna be like we, with our gifts, beliefs, and gifts, talents, and abilities and things of that nature. It's gonna be basically having to be shown in that way, from how we spiritually evolved our personal interests. It's gonna be having to be shown in that way of us directly having to take responsibility of, you know what I'm saying, how we are fixating and sustaining the ability to have that give value and talent to be relatable and connect with each other and shit like that as well. Have that healthy self-esteem with each other and shit like that as well. So that's pretty much how we just coming out of that dream from Pisces and shit, coming into another dream. What we creating is the dream. So creating that from Aries, you know what I'm saying? Then communicating about that, taking actions into it. Taurus, we're about to go into Taurus season as well. So, you know what I'm saying? This transition right now basically is more or less, I would say, like, you see what I'm saying? More or less, I would say, like, the vibration, you know what I'm saying, of transformation. So that's pretty much for Taurus. And Aries, how we transforming that vibration spiritually, it's going to be looking like that. Us having to do it through our gifts, values, and talents. Fixating, sustaining it as well. So, real shit. Moving on from there, pretty much like how we vibrationally are transforming and shit is dealing with a lot to how we, you see what I'm saying? 12th house, second house, you know, spiritually transforming from these dream-based beliefs, abilities that we created and shit, having to actually fixate, sustain them to be able to, you know what I'm saying, from being multiple, mutable, adaptable to them to be able to utilize them as a, one would call, you know what I'm saying, towards the stability, security, and safety aspect of the earth signs, because it's fixed, but it's, you know what I'm saying, more like bearing good fruit, things of that nature. How, you know what I'm saying, that exalted Taurus moon aspect is, you know what I'm saying, you want to basically you want to expand and shit from how you create that, you know what I'm saying, good fruit, and to be able to share amongst others and shit like that, have a connection amongst others and shit like that in that nature. So that's how I pretty much, you know what I'm saying, we pretty much, the vibrational transformation is the aspect of the, you know what I'm saying, 12th house, second house. So going on from there, from Aries and Taurus, from it being, you know what I'm saying, us having to utilize that spiritual transformation, 12th house from Taurus, Aries, to be what we personally interested in, you know what I'm saying, our dream, faith, beliefs, gonna be foreshadowed, and how we are basically taking control and innovating that, you know what I'm saying, with Taurus being there and shit like that, and Uranus innovating that, and, you know what I'm saying, making unique, utilizing that fixating, sustaining ability to be able to, you know what I'm saying, have a healthy self-esteem with that give value and talent, and of what we personally interested in and shit like that. So like moving on for there to Taurus and Gemini type shit spanning from how we second house from Taurus and Gemini want to be, you know what I'm saying, expansive with how we are talking, communicating, and, you know what I'm saying, in our media environment, things of that nature, dealing with how we, you know what I'm saying, first learn to communicate and learn to be able to, you know what I'm saying, create a frequency in our environment of what the fuck we are attracted to and things of that nature. Thoughts and feelings that we are, you know what I'm saying, more moldable and adaptable to, is pretty much how we fixate and sustain in the spiritual transformation from that development of those gifts, values, and talents that we have to personally transform. So what we're going to be doing is, you spiritually, see what I'm saying, transforming that innovating uniqueness, creativity, energy of like trying to fixate and sustain for the long-term vision of how we come together as a society as well, is, you know what I'm saying, have a currency, healthy self-esteem with that gift, value, and talent that we, you know what I'm saying, want not to be so much as a fallen aspect, is to, you know what I'm saying, we just have to, you know what I'm saying, utilize that in a different way, utilize that in a more unique and an individual way when it comes to our gifts, values, and talents and things of that nature. So pretty much from there, yeah, like I was saying, that's gonna make it to where how we innovating and shit and changing and shit is pretty much being fixated, sustained, and being developed is stability and security through how we think, communicating, and expanding on wisdom, knowledge, and experiences at this moment. So with Gemini being going through Jupiter and things of that nature, so pretty much how we gonna be you know what I'm saying, having a vibrational transformation is through that frequency of creation, was I, you know what I'm saying, deemed Gemini energy and the third house type shit, basically to be from Taurus, to be expressed through that, you know what I'm saying, frequency of creation from the vibrational transformation, second house, Gemini from Taurus. So spiritual transformation from that is gonna look like the gifts, values, and talents that we are, you know what I'm saying, creating faith, belief, and imagination around, and things of that nature. So innovating to make unique and individual. So Gemini, okay, yeah, nah, cause Cancer, we just moved into, since we moved into Aries. I mean, thinking about Mars into Leo, so that aspect of us having a vibrational transformation from there pretty much is gonna be skipped over to how we express our character, to how we, you know what I'm saying, from the expressionatory aspect of the dream, faith, belief, imagination that we, you know what I'm saying, are mutable, modal, adaptable, to having a spiritual transformation from those things to basically secure and be safe and you see what I'm saying, build stability upon that thing that we utilize, that we call work health routine patterns. So we are be able to be moldable, mutable, adaptable to our South Node and Virgo of what we are comfortable and feel safe and secure and, you know what I'm saying, within, and things of that nature. So having that be the vibrational transformation for our expression of character, how we are expanding the ability to have a dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion around that, you know what I'm saying, expression of character, to be like, you know what I'm saying, spiritually transformed. We're gonna through the vibration of how we have a work health routine pattern, and our being able to make that something that we could be, you know what I'm saying, basically comfortable with the end and shit like that, safe and secure with the end and shit like that. Shit, pretty much from there, skipping over to what our desires, you know what I'm saying, passions, motivations, things of that nature are being spiritually transformed from. And Scorpio from and Lilith, that first embarrassment, desire of those dreams, those, you know what I'm saying, desires, passions, motives, and deep internal, you know what I'm saying, deep internal emotions that we may cling on to, or may want to have a desire to be attracted to, basically, you know what I'm saying, try to manipulate to do, or whatever the case may be, eighth house things, spiritually transforming from that to be able to, you know what I'm saying, directly have a stability, safe and secure transformation of that vibration, to expand upon how we not communicate, but you know, the opposite aspect of the Gemini Sag, how we expand metaphysically, you know, and travel from how we can, you know what I'm saying, have a wisdom, knowledge, experience, so we can be mutable, modal, and adaptable against with ourselves versus others and shit like that, aka how we influence, you know what I'm saying, those things of those natures of being safe and secure within that wisdom, knowledge, and experience versus how others do that, you know what I'm saying. So but that's not basically this aspect, is where we just vibrationally transforming from how we have a deep desire to be able to be, you know what I'm saying, have a motive, passion, and a desire to have that faith, belief, imagination, or delusion around that embarrassment, desire, or first emotional connection, reaction response we had within those natures, to be able to feel safe, secure, fixate, sustain that ability to have a gift, value, and talent in that, by expanding the wisdom and knowledge and experience out of that, and be mutable, and adaptable to ours self, wisdom, knowledge, and experience out as well as the others. So knowledge, experience, and wisdom and shit like that, things of those nature. So with us, create an emotional connection with that, of course, in the Sagittarius and the moon. Our moon is in Sagittarius. Pretty much from there, Aquarius, Pluto, what we gonna be, you know what I'm saying, putting a emphasis on when it comes to our spiritual transformation from 12th house Aquarius from Pisces is gonna have us be able to see how we are spiritually transforming from this Pluto and Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? Rebellistic societal change, dealing with how we are uniquely innovating and fixating, sustaining our ability to have a long-term vision within society, and things of those natures is going to be how we seeing that directly be transformed through the, you know what I'm saying, power and control that is being transformed through that. Spiritually, we're going to see a vibrational transformation through how we are, you know what I'm saying, being moldable, mutable, adaptable to our own visions, dealing with our dreams, faith, belief, imaginations, you know, our spirit-like ability to be able to create a dream, faith, belief, imagination, you know what I'm saying? So, therefore, we could be able to, you know what I'm saying, fixate, sustain that ability to have that gift, value, and talent within whatever we are having fixated long term for the vision of society, or, you know what I'm saying, our associations, associates, and the public things of that nature that we are, arena that we are associated with, be transformed to the vibration of how we are, you know what I'm saying, being able to create a dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, fixate, sustain, make it stable, safe, secure, be comfortable within that, and things of that nature. Shit. So how we building on that basically is Saturn, you know what I'm saying, building on the harsh reality. Will be creating more emotional connection with that. I skipped over. I should skip over that because Aries did just enter. You know what I'm saying? Just enter, or no, Neptune just entered Aries. I was gonna say. So yeah, like, shit is basically like what we are giving love, value, and appreciation to, and building on that harsh reality of that versus how we, you know what I'm saying, going through that and on to that spiritual path that we have to create that dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion that we are being moldable, mutable, adaptable within our own self, you know what I'm saying, being influenced by that by our own self versus how others and shit of that nature is. We are connecting with the public, you see what I'm saying, how we are balancing that out with having a vibration of that spiritual transformation from our associations, taking power, control over that dream, faith, and belief, and imagination that we have with them. So, frequency of creation, pretty much that's it for the vibrational transformation of what we going through. Aries, you know what I'm saying, and Gemini with that aspect of what we are associated in our associations in the public, you know what I'm saying, our celestial creations that we make amongst each other, things of that nature, to be able to have a personal interest and spark a personal birth, imagination of what we create and initiate as far as a dream, not a dream, but, you know, a vision, and things of that nature, a thought, just in general, and things of that nature is going to be frequency, is going to be, you know what I'm saying, created through Gemini. So how we being able to expand right now, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying, our frequency of creation is through our celestial creations, how we've been able to associate with the public and things of that nature. So personally, what we personally interested in. So on from there, like how we build on frequency creation, pretty much third house, how we, you know what I'm saying, think and are multiple and adaptable to how we communicate in our immediate environment, things of that nature, with how we are having a frequency of creation from Gemini being 11th house from Leo, how we are celestial, creating our atmosphere as far as how we, you know what I'm saying, see our thoughts and communication, dealing with the wisdom, knowledges, and experiences amongst our celestial, what we celestially create amongst each other. Our 11th house from Leo, Gemini, associations in the public, things like that. Where we are thinking, communicating, and associated with it in our atmosphere, in the environment, and things of that nature, is how we are. You know what I'm saying? It's what we are expressing our character and our how we think and communicating in that immediate environment is how we are having basically the frequency of creation, and how we are, like, you know what I'm saying, creating onto that frequency in our atmosphere and things of that nature, from how we express our character and shit. That expression of character, that childlike you know what I'm saying, that childlike, more entertainment, fun, enjoyment, self-expressionatory energy of having fun and things of that nature. Think communicating about, you know what I'm saying, how you're moldable, mutable, or adaptable within that is what your frequency of creation would be. Things of that nature from third house from Gemini. So going on from there, pretty much frequency of creation. Oh yeah, and basically because Mars, you know what I'm saying, there, that's what we, you know what I'm saying, passionate and motivated about. So, you know what I'm saying, giving us, you know what I'm saying, the ability to be, you know, push us forward and take action within those things. Now, trying to look at that. Okay, so Sagittarius, being in the moonship, we create an emotional connection, reaction, response amongst our celestial creations and associations in the public, is pretty much what we, you know what I'm saying, having a balance of frequency of how we, you know what I'm saying, communicating with our basically our associates in the public and things of that nature. How we being a moldable, mutable, adaptable to that from our wisdom, knowledge, and experience, and being able to how we create emotional connection with that versus being influenced by that emotion that others create of that wisdom, knowledge, and experience and things of that nature, being moldable, mutable, adaptable to that, as well as our own self. You know what I'm saying? It's wisdom, knowledge, and experience. It's the things, metaphysical travels that we spiritually, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. And then yeah, pretty much that's the frequency of creation, how we are expanding those wisdom, knowledge, and experiences through our associates in the public, and how we think and is mutable, moldable, adaptable to how we communicate in our immediate environment, as well as others' influence of that. So moving on from there, pretty much frequency of creation of, you know what I'm saying, 11th house from Aries, Aquarius, being Pluto, you know what I'm saying, that's, and how we take power and control over that. And you know what I'm saying, that those associations is pretty much how it'll play out, you know what I'm saying, or the transformation and the power and control that we're taking over that, and or being, you know what I'm saying, that you're influenced by, things of that nature. So like I said, 11th house from Aries, Aquarius, that shit pretty much how we fixate and sustaining the vision of long-term vision of society, and how we are being individual and unique to our, you know what I'm saying, power and control that we are being influenced by, or things that we are influencing and things of that nature. How we celestially are associated with that, creating that onto that, is pretty much how we are going to be, you know what I'm saying, what our frequency creation is going to be from, or yeah, how it's going to be being able to be created off that celestial creation of from Aries, you know what I'm saying, being the Sun, Mercury, Chiron, Neptune, and things of that nature. How we take communication, thinking, analyzing about that, personal interests and things of that nature within how we are, moldable, mutable, and adaptable to what we think, communicate, and expand on in things of that nature with how we in our immediate environment versus how we're influenced by others like that, and what we personally interested with and things of that nature, how we initiate and create our spark of imagination, or creation of how we think, you know um how have a thought and then just go off of that thought and basically build onto that from how we started that vision from just that first thought and the spark of imagination to be able to initiate and create your own personal influence and things of that nature. So that how we being able to be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to ourselves as well as others and things of that nature is how we creating our frequency of, through that celestial creation of the power and control that we being influenced by as well as influencing. And pretty much from there, frequency of creation pretty much gonna be how we, 11th house from Taurus to Pisces, 3rd house, Taurus, how we are, not initiating, creating, but fixing and sustaining that ability to be able to create a faith, belief, imagination, delusion amongst the celestial creations and things of that nature is going to be how we are, being able to have frequency of creation through how we think, communicate, and adaptable, moldable, mutable, adaptable to how we are, in our immediate environment, how we think in our immediate environment, what we think, communicating about shit like that nature to how we, fix and sustain that ability and our gift values and talents and from having a frequency of communication to our celestial creations through that, dream, faith, belief, imagination, 11th house, Taurus, Pisces, dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, giving love, showing love, value, and appreciation, Venus and Pisces, building on that harsh reality, Saturn and Pisces, and building on that, spiritual path, North Node of Pisces, and things of that nature. So that's gonna be like, how we pretty much celestially creating whatever we would, associations in the public that we fixate and sustain, dealing with our celestial creations in that area of life, and that moldable, mutable, adaptable dreams, faith, belief, imagination, illusion gonna be dealing with how we, frequency of our, creations of our frequencies is gonna be coming off dealing with the Taurus aspect, ability to have a good value and talent and things of that nature, in that moldable, mutable, adaptable thought that we create and things of that nature amongst our immediate environment. So pretty much from there, how we are expanding the frequency of what we creating is gonna be from from 11th house, Virgo, how we are, celestially creating what we comfortable, safe, secure within our routine health patterns, and being moldable and adaptable, how we moldable and adaptable to that against others, and being influenced by others and how we influence that and things of that nature is going to be how we pretty much is, having to build off a frequency of creation of what we desire and have a passion, motivation, and dealing with Scorpio and Lilith, our embarrassments, first desires, and, first emotional connection, dealing with those motivations, desires, and passions, and deep emotional connections, dealing with how you are, fixate and sustain your, emotions and things of that nature, dealing with how you, have sex with and invest with others and things of that nature, invest your sex energy and secret or behind closed doors like energy. It's gonna be how you are having expansion of frequency creation through that work health routine pattern and things of that nature. You being able to have a moldable, mutable, adaptable work health routine pattern, being able to be safe and secure within a celestial creation, dealing with that, work health routine, being moldable, mutable, adaptable with that. you can be able to, you know what I'm saying, have a frequency creation through your desires, passion, motivations, dealing with the, you know what I'm saying, what you thinking are mutable, mutable, and adaptable to in your immediate environment as well as others, and things of that nature. Have build off that frequency and, you know, create onto that, things of that nature. So pretty much from there, that's the frequency of communicate of creation. We expanding on as far as our emotion and in our experiences, or our experience of emotions. You know what I'm saying, is gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, Taurus. You feel me? 10th house from Leo to Leo 4th house from Taurus. How you emotionally expanding that, give value and talent. But how you initiate and create that status and entrepreneur endeavor within that, give value and talent, pretty much is how you are. You see what I'm saying? Being able to be initiate and create emotional connection or expansion of how you experience your emotions through the passion and motivation you getting from Leo. You know what I'm saying? Express your self-expression, childlike, you know what I'm saying, fixating, sustaining, like ability to be able to, you know what I'm saying, attack your own, you know what I'm saying, ego, or, you know what I'm saying, others as well, as things of that nature. So you being able to have that light that you could shine bright with, and, you know what I'm saying, be you know what I'm saying, fixate, sustain, have the influence of fixating, sustaining that ability, as well as being you know what I'm saying, being able to be fixated, sustained, influenced by others, dealing with that, you know what I'm saying, self-expression and shit like that. That's gonna be pretty much how we, you know what I'm saying, have emotional creation of emotion of experience that we can expand on, things that nature, emotion of experience that we can, you know, have emotions be expanded on, and things like have our emotions, you know what I'm saying, being able to initiate and create your own home and family and privacy, things like that, is dealing with, you know what I'm saying, your own internal world and your own emotional home, emotions you create, basically. So creating your own emotions throughout your self-expression, creativity, and childlike ability to be able to, you know what I'm saying, share the spotlight with others and have a spotlight for yourself and things like that. So that's gonna be pretty much how we have an emotional experience from our gifts, values, and talents. Being able to see how we being able to self-sustain and initiate and create our own image of status, or, you know what I'm saying, stand on business like ability to be able to have a good value and talent, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, with you being a unique and individual within that Uranus, Taurus, Gemini, 11th house from, 10th house from Virgo, how we spending on that, creating that, initiating status, initiation of entrepreneur endeavor, stand on business like energy, between how you can, you know what I'm saying, have a expansion of your wisdom, knowledge, and experience through how you think, communicate, and are moldable, mutable, adaptable to your environment as well as others and things of that nature. It's gonna be how you having a emotion of, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, a physical experience to be able to have emotion of experience through, you know what I'm saying, your ability to not initiate, be moldable, mutable, adaptable to others, work health routine patterns as well as your own. You see what I'm saying, and the influence that you give off through that and things of that nature. So pretty much from their experience of how we emotionally experiencing things and things of that nature, initiating, creating, and building off our emotional structure of our home, family, and privacy and things of that nature is desires, motivations, passions, dealing with how we are, you know what I'm saying, going through that embarrassment, desire, motivation, passion that we attach to, dealing with that motivations, passions, and you know what I'm saying, hitting ulterior motives or whatever the case may be, or you know what I'm saying, pure motives that you you know what I'm saying, want to intermingle with others and things of that nature. It's gonna be like how you are having a create your emotions and experiencing emotions. You're gonna be having to create your internal home, family, privacy, initiate and create your way that you feel, and are, you know what I'm saying, creating your environment as far as your internal home and things of that nature. Is gonna be how you are, you know what I'm saying, creating that emotion of experience from the physical experience of Leo. You having that childlike ability to have a spotlight, a dream. I mean, not a dream, but you could say like, you know, like a imagination, dealing with creativity, have fun. You know, not really a fantasy, but like more like a entertainment, like, you know what I'm saying, spotlight, like aspect of you having to have an initiate and create your own status, and you know, your status and how you are seen amongst, you know what I'm saying, in your career, and stand on like business type, like ability to be able to, you see what I'm saying, shine bright from that aspect. You can, you see what I'm saying, have emotional experience and be able to as well, you see what I'm saying, 10th house could create a career status, or you know what I'm saying, initiate an image out of that expression of character from you having as well an experience of emotion through your desires and your passions and motivations, the desires that you was first embarrassed with, or may, you know what I'm saying, had a you know what I'm saying, your first time just basically just doing anything that dealing with those sexual encounters, or just dealing with those, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, creating, initiating, fixating, sustaining your emotions, your deep desires and passions, that first embarrassment or desire, or whatever the case you may have got from that, motives and, you know what I'm saying, passions within that, is how you are basically, you know what I'm saying, having experience of emotion, experiencing your initiating and creating your own emotional home, having to within how you have your home, family, privacy, and things of that nature, and the way you, you know what I'm saying, emotion, you know what I'm saying, experience emotions, and are initiating, have others initiate and create their emotions and things like that, within the public and things like that. So I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, how you influenced by that, how versus how you influence that and things of that nature. So that's pretty much how we, you know what I'm saying, have an emotional experience, how we are having a, you know what I'm saying, our physical experience, and in Virgo, South Node, pretty much 10th house from, 10th house from Sag and things of that nature. So that's gonna be like how we being initiating, creating that status and shit like that within it, how you moldable, mutable, and adaptable to your own health routine, work health routine patterns and things of that nature. Gonna be like how you feel safe and secure, comfortable, and secure within that, is your physical experiencing, you know what I'm saying, how you having to build off emotional connection of you metaphysically traveling, or aka you know what I'm saying, having to expand that embodiment of that work health routine pattern, and your wisdom, knowledge, and experiences from your ability to create emotional connection and a reaction response in those things. Dealing with, and that's pretty much emotional experience for that aspect. Dealing with the emotion of experience for Scorpio is gonna be Aquarius, dealing with, you know what I'm saying, passion, motivation, or I guess you could say take power, control over transformations within the associates in the public and things of that nature. Is gonna be dealing with how you are, you know what I'm saying, fixating, sustaining that and shit like that, to be able to be a unique individual, and things of that nature, influence that, be influenced by that as well. So how you are building on that emotion of experience, you know what I'm saying, is gonna be through that physical experience of you having to, you know what I'm saying, go through that deep desire, passion, go through that first embarrassment that you may have had with it, and things of that nature, to be able to make sure you stand on business in that, you know what I'm saying, spotlight you give yourself. Make sure you are structured as far as the way you initiated and created your status in the first place, and how you are, you know what I'm saying, give off your presence or your status of that desire and motive or passion and things of that nature. It's gonna be how you see what I'm saying, is, you know what I'm saying, having a physical experience. Basically, you just having to go through that, you know what I'm saying, and stand on business, initiate and create your status from that. And yeah, basically emotionally you gonna be experiencing that through your associations. So you're experiencing that emotionally through your associations, how you taking power, controlling that, and initiate, fixate, sustain, I should say, and are being influenced by that, as well as influencing those things in your celestial creations. Emotion of experience from there is going to be how we are having dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, initiating, creating our own internal home, you know what I'm saying, emotions that we are, you know what I'm saying, initiating, creating within our dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion. It's going to be the emotional experience for Sagittarius, emotional experience for Sagittarius, and how we are creating emotional connection and reaction and response within our wisdom, knowledge, and experiences, things of that nature. How we are moldable, mutable, and adaptable to that is how we're having a physical experience, being able to have the ability to stand on business. 10th house from, you know what I'm saying, Pisces, through our image and status of our wisdom, knowledge, and experiences, things of that nature, with how we create an emotional connection and initiate reaction and response in general. It's going to be how, you know what I'm saying, we are expanding emotionally through our dreams, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, using that physically as a catalyst to be able to create our internal home within our faith, belief, imagination, and delusion, to stabilize that with Saturn being in Pisces, structuring that, building on that harsh reality with that, giving love, showing value, appreciation with that dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, and by initiating, creating your own home, initiating, creating your own emotions and shit like that within that realm of reality and shit like that. Is gonna be how you are, you know what I'm saying, going on that North Node spiritual path of what you are able to do within that dream, faith, belief, imagination, illusion, which how you create that ability that your spirit has and things of that nature. So how pretty much from there, so like emotional experience gonna be like how we are physically experiencing that dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion. 10th house from Gemini to, shit, I'm saying, how we initiate and create our emotions within that, how we think, communicate, and analyze, and our moldable, mutable, and adaptable to our immediate environment as well as others and things of that nature. So how we are being able to, you know what I'm saying, expanding that Jupiter, you know what I'm saying, with our wisdom, knowledge, and experiences being there. That's pretty much gonna be how we are initiating, creating our emotions through that aspect of standing on business, having a physical experience of how we initiating, creating, and having to, you know what I'm saying, stabilize and make secure and structure out that that status and career that we initiated from the dream, faith, belief, imagination, illusion. How we structuring that, showing love and value and appreciation for that, and also as well as going on that spiritual path of creating more of those dreams, faith, belief, imagination, illusions. So fantasies, you know what I'm saying, your fantasies, stupid, but yeah. So like pretty much I think that's the emotion of experience. So yo expression of character and shit like that, Aries, ninth house, uh, Leo to Leo fifth house from Aries, being able to metaphysically travel through how you are initiating, creating, you know what I'm saying, your ability to spark an imagination and a thought and into existence and go and, you know what I'm saying, lead that path of the influence that you know what I'm saying, um, that you give off from that, as well as being not moldable, but more like, you know what I'm saying, leading the initiation of others and things of that nature as well, to be able to have a good balance within your own um, realm reality that you influence, and the power that you birthed and sparked from that, things of that nature. So is how you metaphysically traveling through that and shit like that is the aspect of how we're gonna be not emotionally, but expressing our character. You see what I'm saying? So passionately motivated, Leo and Mars, excuse me, shit, fiery aspect of you shining bright with that expression, self-expression, and things of that nature, with how you are aggressive, take action, are motivated in your desires, deep desires within those things, is gonna be how you basically coming off with your expression of character, and having to build onto that realm of reality and your expression of character, of your fun, your fun, childlike entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like ability, so to be able to self-express yourself and, you know what I'm saying, initiate and sustain that, fixate and sustain that expression, self-expression, and things of that nature. So you being able to, you know what I'm saying, express that character through that aspect of that passion, motivation, and desire, from how we, you know what I'm saying, Aries standing on business with the actions that we was taking and shit like that, with how we initiated and created our personal interests and affairs with our what we birthed into reality, and our creativity that we, you know what I'm saying, led amongst others, creativities and things of that nature. Thinking, communicating, analyzing, taking action with that, yeah, and building on that dream, faith, belief, imagination with that, as well as, you know what I'm saying, transforming from that pain and suffering that we might have been or be going through that, or have went through that, and things of that nature. So that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, the metaphysical travel of how we expressing our character and shit like that. Ninth house from Leo, getting wisdom, knowledge, and experience out of that. You know what I'm saying? Metaphysical travel is how we're going to be able to bounce off of that expression of character from how we travel through that, and things of that nature. So bouncing back from the fire houses to the earth houses, Taurus, ninth house from Virgo, expression of character, or metaphysical travel, ninth house, you being able to fix and sustain that ability to have that give value and talent, and be moldable, mutable, adaptable to how you can spiritually transform and expand through that. Give value and talent, you know what I'm saying, how you can see how you know what I'm saying, expand through that, give value and talent and ability that you fixate, sustain, to have stability, safety, security within that. How you innovate in uniqueness and shit like that. Shit, pretty much going how you being able to, you know what I'm saying, be safe, secure, be moldable, mutable, and adaptable, safe and secure within the expression of character. Fifth house from Taurus, you having to, you know, with that work health routine, pattern and regimen and things of that nature, be safe, comfortable, and secure within that. It's how you're going to be expressing your character from how you metaphysically travel to however you bounced off that metaphysical travel, your gifts, values, and talents, and things of that nature, how you being able to be relatable. How you being able to be relatable and show love, value, and appreciation for that. And those things, those natures of your good values and talents. You know what I'm saying? So, expressing a character from there is Leo ninth house from Sag to how we metaphysically traveling on our character in our you know what I'm saying, character like ability to express ourselves, and how we can fix and sustain that shit. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, metaphysically how we travel through the wisdom, got the wisdom, knowledge, and experience from, you know what I'm saying, Leo ninth house from Sagittarius, those multiple, mutable, adaptable experiences that we had to go through with that wisdom and knowledge, and expand from to rise from the ashes, and the ashes, the dust to rise as a phoenix, and shit like that, from that character and things of that nature, that fun like ability with how we expressing our passion, motivation within that. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, with Mars being there, how we are, you know what I'm saying, having emotional creation of reaction response of expressing our character, metaphysically traveling through those wisdom, knowledge, and experiences and things of that nature to, you know what I'm saying, the Sagittarius moon and things of that nature, how we've been able to be multiple, mutable, adaptable to our own expression of character of, you know what I'm saying, as well as others and things of that nature. Fixate and sustain like ability to express their childlike inner fun self and things of that nature. So expressing the character from there pretty much gonna be how we, you know what I'm saying, is metaphysically traveling from Scorpio being in Lilith. You know what I'm saying, that expression of character from there is gonna be, you know what I'm saying, how we having a dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, and, you know what I'm saying, Pisces, being multiple, mutable, adaptable to that, having to fixate, sustain our character that we express out of that, and things of that nature, is gonna be how we having to, you know, how we're metaphysically traveling and things of that nature is gonna be bounced off of that from our deep desires, passions, motivations within that first embarrassment and desire that, you know what I'm saying, our first creation of emotion and reaction that we had to those deep desires and sex-like energies that we had to, you know what I'm saying, takes two to tango like energies for you to intermingle with others and use your energy to create off of theirs and things like that. So metaphysically, how we traveling from that is pretty much how, you know what I'm saying, we bouncing off that expression of character from the dream, faith, belief, and imagination, delusion that we can, you know what I'm saying, build off that, you know, harsh reality, and how we can build off the harsh reality, how we can build off the love, faith, belief, love, appreciation, value, and relatability with that, you know what I'm saying, give value and talent that we may have in that to go on a spiritual path of create and be multiple, mutable, adaptable to our dream, faith, belief, imaginations, as well as others. Be having that be an expression of character for Scorpio, pretty much being the expansion of the travel from ninth house from Pisces, and Pisces fifth house from Scorpio. Sagittarius ninth house from Aries, how we are creating emotional connection, reaction, response with that, you know what I'm saying, expansion of how we metaphysically travel through those reaction responses and mutable, multiple, adaptable wisdom, knowledge, and experiences that we get out of that travel and things of that nature. It's going to be how we are expressing our character through the ability to how we personally interested in have a personal value of had taken action, you know what I'm saying, having different viewpoints, being communicating, analyzing, creating a dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusions off of that, as well as healing from that pain, suffering, and things of that nature that we may have been going through in personal interests and personal values, or whatever the case may be, to come out like you know what I'm saying, whatever we initiate and created in that, fixate and sustain that within how we express our character and our of how we are, you know, moldable, mutable, adaptable, bouncing off from that wisdom, knowledge, experiences that we, you know, was able to create, you know what I'm saying, within the Sagittarius moon, things like that. So expressing the character from there, pretty much Aquarius, Pluto, how we are, you know what I'm saying, expressing the metaphysical travel of the associations in public, how we taking power control of that. Pretty much is gonna be how we, you know what I'm saying, is what we fixate and sustaining, you know what I'm saying, having the ability to be moldable, mutable, and adaptable, to how we fixate and sustain, how we're individual and unique, and have wisdom, knowledge, experiences that we gain from that metaphysical travel, and that to be able to bounce off to how we express our character through, you see what I'm saying, how we think, communicate, and adapt, or be moldable, mutable, and adaptable to our own immediate environment, and how we think, communicate, or how we are influenced by others, think, communications, thinking the way if they're that they do shit in their environment and create their frequency and things of that nature. So pretty much that's, you know what I'm saying, what we metaphysically traveling from in our associations to be able to express our character through, and expand on as far as wisdom, knowledge, experiences as well. You see what I'm saying, with Jupiter being Gemini. So from there, pretty much the emotion of experience, how we express the expansion of how we're embodying shit and shit like that. The 6th house, 8th house aspect of things and things of that nature, from Aries, the passion, motivations, deep desires, and things like that we are going through, and how we have to initiate, create our own interests, passions, motivations, and personal spark of birth of what we initiate and create into what we initiate and create and lead as far as a personal imagination or a thought that we, you know what I'm saying, have interest into and value into, that we see value into, and things of that nature, is going to be how, you know what I'm saying, how we are growing past the ability to have to communicate, and shit like that, with the actions, taking action within that, to how we are actually initiating, creating, building on the dreams, faith, belief, imaginations, delusions with that too, from how we being able to heal that pain and suffering that we might have been through, that or whatever, and now whatever the case, we're leading that into you know what I'm saying, a new generation and things of that nature. Aries is moving in Neptune and shit. So yeah, pretty much moving to a new generation, us initiating, creating our own personal interests and passions, motivations within how we have value and things of that nature within our dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusions, is, you know what I'm saying, and you know, healing that pain and suffering from that, plus moving past how we think, communicate, analyze with that, and just take action with it and shit like that. Having a deep desire within that 8th house from Virgo, you know what I'm saying, deep passion, motivation, and desire, emotion, deep a mental expansion and shit like that within that. However far we're able to mentally expand is gonna be how we able to 6th house from Aries build on that expansion, and embody that. And so things of that nature of work, health, routine patterns, 6th house from Aries, Virgo, how we in the South Node, how we feel safe, comfortable, feel safe, secure, and are moldable, mutable, adaptable to our own health routine, work regimens, as well as others, things of that nature. So like how we are embodying that mental expansion, however far we are to embody that, you see what I'm saying? However far we are to embody that, that's how far we expand it, you see what I'm saying? So with that personal interest, if that passion, desire, motivation that we had to spark and birth our own power of influence and things that we be influenced by, things of that nature. So 8th house from Scorpio, Gemini and Jupiter, us being able to expand how we, know what I'm saying, are mutable, moldable, and adaptable to how we communicate, think, and analyze between versus how others be influenced by others. Um, expansion and the wisdom, knowledge, and experience that they get out of think, communicating, analyzing within their immediate environment, things of that nature. To eighth house, how we have a deep desire, connection within that to be able to manifest, you know what I'm saying, or not really just manifest, but actually, materialize the mental expansion or mental rebirth that we have to go through that is gonna be however far we're able to expand on the embodiment of us, you know what I'm saying, sixth house from Gemini Scorpio to, you know what I'm saying, be able to have that deep desire, passion, motivation, be expanded in a health routine, work health routine, and being moldable, mutable, adaptable to yourself as well as others, and things of that nature. With how you first was embarrassed or whatever, have first embarrassment or desire within Lilith and Scorpio and things of that nature. You have to, you know what I'm saying, transform, have a mental rebirth within those embarrassments, desires, and things of that nature, even on top of going through that, you know what I'm saying, first fixate, sustain, state, fixation and sustaination of, if that's even a fucking word, of your desires, passions, motivations, Lilith and Scorpio, you having to expand on the embodiment of, being multiple, mutable, adaptable between your health, work, and routine, patternistic ability to, you know what I'm saying, put work in that area. And so, how far you be able to embody that is how far you're able to mentally rebirth the way you think, communicate, and adaptable, multiple, mutable, adaptable to your immediate environment as well as others, where they're multiple, mutable, adaptable to where they think, communicate within their immediate environment, things of that nature, and gain wisdom, knowledge, and experience out of it, with Jupiter being there. You know what I'm saying? So, embodiment of, or, you know what I'm saying, expansion of embodiment from there, pretty much how eighth house from Aquarius, we are being able to expand our work health routine pattern is going to be through South Node, how we being able to, like, say I'm saying, mentally rebirth that is however far we're going to be able to mentally rebirth that, deep desire, passion, and things like that within that work health routine pattern, and how we feel safe, comfortable, secure within that Virgo South Node, to sixth house Aquarius from Virgo, how we've been able to, you know what I'm saying, initiate, or not really initiate, but fixate, sustain a power and control aspect of transformation through our associations, associates, and the public, having a work health routine and being a multiple, mutable, and adaptable pattern to that health, work health routine within that, putting work within that aspect, is how far you be able to embody that expansion of that mental rebirth, as well as how far you be able to mentally rebirth from the expansion of the embodiment. So, not South Node, but Lilith and Scorpio, eighth house from Aries, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, how we being able to mentally rebirth that first desire, passion, passion, motivation, and desire that we connected with in that, emotional connection or whatever it's saying, that we created with that deep desire, and mentally rebirth that is going to be however far we are to embody that expansion through first house, Aries, or sixth house, Aries from Scorpio, the work health routine pattern of that personal interest and value that you sparked and birthed and initiated, took action, think, communicate, analyze, went on it, into it, and added on dream, faith, believe into it, with dealing with that, as well as healing, transforming that personal interest. So, as well as, you know what I'm saying, that being an embodiment, however far you're being able to embody that, is however far you're being able to mentally rebirth how your passions, motivation, and desires, and you know what I'm saying, how you're being able to be, mentally rebirth that passion, motivation, and desires, and things of that nature within that first emotional embarrassment connection that you had with them, motives, desires, and deep fixated passions, and see what I'm saying, things of that nature. So pretty much from there, how you embodiment of expansion is gonna be through how you mentally eighth house from Taurus, how you mentally rebirthing your metaphysical travel of you know what I'm saying, your emotional connection that you made with your, you know what I'm saying, reaction responses versus, you know what I'm saying, how you know what I'm saying, metaphysically travel through that, building on to be able to mentally rebirth through eighth house from Taurus, Sagittarius in the moon. You gonna be having, you know what I'm saying, to however far you're being able to mentally rebirth that, embody that expansion of the individuality and shit like that you have within your give value and talent, and being able to be relatable, you know what I'm saying, fixate, sustain, and to fixate, sustain your gifts and values and talents to others as well, you know what I'm saying, be relatable to others as well. And sixth house from how you put in work within that work health routine pattern from Sagittarius. However far you're able to do that is going to be how you see how you're going to be able to embody that expansion of that mental rebirth that you had with the metaphysical travel that you had through the experience of emotion, and your reaction, emotional creation, how you mutable, moldable, and adaptable to that wisdom, knowledge, and experiences that you go through. You know what I'm saying? When you create emotional connections and reactions, responses, and things of that nature. So, being able to mentally rebirth it, coming from that eighth house from Pisces, eighth house from Leo, Pisces, being able to mentally rebirth how far you're able to, your dream, faith, belief, imagination is going to be able to mentally rebirthed. It's going to be through, you know what I'm saying, however you building on that harsh reality and that love, value, appreciation that you're giving to be able to be relatable, and through the good value and talents that you can go on a spiritual path with, to, you see what I'm saying, a mental rebirth, having a mental rebirth through the embodiment of expansion through Leo, you in Aries, Mars, you being able to have a passion, motivation, desire with your character and the way that you express your, you know what I'm saying, self-expression, authority aspect of fun, your fun entertainment, like ability to, you know what I'm saying, fixate and sustain entertainment and self-expression of a character and things like that. So how far you been able to mutably adapt to that work health routine pattern that you can build on within that, and and within others of their self-expression of character and things like that, is how far you're going to be able to be, you know what I'm saying, mentally rebirth, versus, you know what I'm saying, however, you know what I'm saying, as well as, you know what I'm saying, be able to, you know what I'm saying, see others mentally rebirth, as well as the join in and, you know what I'm saying, help others mentally rebirth, things like that, or, you know what I'm saying, be influenced by that from you and things like that. So of that dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, how you work building on that harsh reality, building on that you know what I'm saying, love, value, and appreciation of the gift, value, and talent that you can go on the spiritual path with in the North Node as well, from Venus and Pisces. So pretty much from there, that's it for the embodiment and the mental rebirth. The balance of power, pretty much we're gonna be having the Taurus, but we're having to be relatable in our relationships, the way we initiate and create, the way we think in our relationships, and lead and things of that nature with our gifts, values, and talents. And it's gonna be however far being able to balance the power of the desires and passions, motivations, and the investments, and the you know what I'm saying, sex that we intermingle with, creating the joining of two energies, with how we, you know what I'm saying, use our energy to be able to be relatable within our relationships, and initiate and create relationships, and lead them in that way that we you know what I'm saying, are being able to be relatable, and think how we initiate, think, and communicate within it. and balance of power from there. Pretty much Leo, 7th house from Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? You being able to be relatable within your relationships, within how you can express your character and things like that, and your fun like ability to be able to have a you know what I'm saying spotlight, as well as be relatable to others and things like that. It's gonna be however far you've been able to balance that power out with that passion motivate. However, you know what I'm saying, having that passion motivation is that, as well as, you know what I'm saying, with Mars being, you know what I'm saying, kind of opposed with its home co-ruler planet Pluto or Scorpio. You know what I'm saying, it's gonna be like, you know, kind of feisty, be passionate energy with that, dealing with the, you know, imagination, as well as, you know what I'm saying, um, you know, more metaphysical, or not metaphysical travel, but more metaphysical of realm of the, you know, expression of character, as well as the association of public and things like that, dealing with the psyche, and more dealing with the occult or unseen, or the passion, motivation that's behind it, is really dealing with these energies, because it's co-ruler of Scorpio. With Pluto being in Aquarius, you happen to be relatable with their relationships and the way you initiate and create relationships, and how you leading, you know what I'm saying, within that your associations in the public, you know what I'm saying, having to balance the power of out with Mars, you being passionately motivated to create a character, special character, things like that, Mars and Leo. And with the way you initiate and the way you think and lead a relationship when it comes to that and things like that, as well as be influenced through that by others, is the way you're ever far you're going to be able to balance that power out. And Jupiter and Gemini, balance of power from there, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, being relatable to your relationships and the way you think, communicate, and are adaptable to moldable and adaptable to your own immediate environment, as well as how others, you know what I'm saying, is, you know what I'm saying, being relatable to their own immediate environment and things like that. It's going to be however far you being able to balance that power through how you have a metaphysical, you know, travel, how you expand through that wisdom, knowledge, and experiences and things like that, with Jupiter being a Gemini right there, to how, you know what I'm saying, you emotionally created that reaction response within that metaphysical travel of 7th house from Gemini, Sagittarius. So you being able to balance how far you've been able to balance that relationships, or how you've been able to be relatable within the way you initiate and create your relationships and lead your relationships, as well as being influenced by others and things like that in your relationships. That's gonna be dealing with however far you're being able to balance out that communication that you have within the, you know what I'm saying, wisdom, knowledge, experiences that you're expanding on. You know what I'm saying, in your immediate environment. And balance of power from pretty much there is just South Node, North Node shit, Virgo, initiating, creating your relationships with how you have a work health routine pattern and moldable, mutable, and adaptable to your own way of feeling safe, secure, and, you know, with the South Node there, safe, secure, and comfortable within that. And, you know what I'm saying, that's however far you've been able to balance that power out. It's pretty much going to be however you're initiating, creating your relationships and leading the way you think, communicate, and your way you relate and shit like that, within the ability to, you know what I'm saying, have a dream, faith, belief, imagination, delusion, and dealing with that, structuring that Saturn and Pisces, showing love, value, and appreciation for that, Venus and Pisces, and the North Node going on the spiritual path of that, going on basically the dream, faith, and belief, imagination, delusion, going on that road to, you know what I'm saying, liberation, and, you know, bringing out the dream that you are mutable, moldable, adaptable to be, as well, you know what I'm saying, collectively going with the flow of others and things of that nature. So that's pretty much it, feel me? Shit, you know what I'm saying, I love y'all, my saying, my boy, famous Mellow ho, stay spiritually protected, ho.